Senator Feinstein.
Up, if I may, Mr. Chairman, on Senator Schatz's question of you, Mr. Attorney General. I'm really surprised by the answer because the Supreme Court did uphold the law, the ACA, and now the Attorney General is saying we will not defend it regardless. It seems to me that that's a problem, that if something is duly passed and upheld as legal, that the Attorney General has a duty to defend it.
Well, the law was originally upheld because the mandate was upheld as a tax. And Chief Justice Roberts' opinion said that it can be upheld as a tax, even though it couldn't otherwise be upheld. So, but for finding it a tax, you would have had 5 votes against it.
But that
once the penalty was removed, the financial penalty was removed. It could no longer, that provision could no longer be justified as a tax, which means that it would have to fall. So the mandate fell. The mandate, in my opinion, I don't think it's even a close question, the mandate was unconstitutional because it can no longer be upheld as a tax. Then the question becomes, if the mandate falls, even though there was no penalty attached to it, what's its impact on the rest of the statute? 4 of the justices in the NFIB felt that the whole statute had to fall. So, as I said before you arrived, Senator, at the end of the day, I felt that this was a defensible legal position to take.
In my experience, which I guess I've been here 26 years, I've never seen this before, that a decision like this would be made by one individual on the basis of what has been a huge decision legislatively and signed by a president based on, I'm not sure quite what, despite what you said. So
who was the one individual? Me?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you misunderstood what I said, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not important.
All
it's
right.
So you're saying, despite the fact that the Supreme Court of the United States upheld what has been a major law, duly passed, duly signed by the president, that you're just not going to defend it.
That does happen. It happens occasionally in our system. I think the principle over at the Department of Justice is that our default position, our preference, is to defend statutes, even if we don't agree with the statutes and even if we think the argument's a weak argument. For example, last time I was in the Justice Department, I thought the flag statute was unconstitutional, but we defended the no burning of the flag. We defended it. We lost because Justice Department was
But why
correct.
wouldn't you defend this?
Because occasionally, the administration determines that another position should be taken.
Is this determined by the White House?
It's determined by the process within the executive branch. There are a number of agencies, there are a number of different players, even in the White House, that get involved in these things.
Well, I assume you wouldn't take this position unless this is what the president wanted.
Well,
because
that would be a safe assumption.
This is a mega law. You know, it affects pre-existing conditions. It affects everybody in the United States. It's not, it went through a great deal of hearing and testimony and amendment and passage.
Yeah, it was a very controversial law.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a big law.
Right.
And it's been operational for a period of time. And people depend on it, millions of people, for their health care.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, along comes, and this is just my frame of way of saying it, somebody, and oh, I'm going to take this whole thing on. And
Well, there were 20, I think, or more states that were challenging it. I mean, there's a lot of opposition to it. A lot of states have weighed in, and I think the administration is on the side of those states. As I said yesterday, I think people should sort of take a deep breath. If this is such a wacky position that the administration is taking, then there's nothing to fear, right?
Well,
Then the law will be
in
upheld.
26 years, I've never seen this kind of thing. And
Well,
I,
Well, Doha, I mean, we mentioned that before. I know it doesn't, it happens rarely in each administration, but I'd be surprised if not any most administrations have from time to time declined.
well, maybe, I don't want to take the time. Maybe we can discuss this, because this struck me like lightning, that, one person decided, I assume the president wants you to, that made this decision, and everything that was done by way of proper legislative action has been taken, and signature of a president. I just don't ever recall anything like this happening in the past quarter of a century. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.